Hi, I'm Beckii Gaffney. I've got the Facebook site group, Forced Adoption Essex. I've been fighting the system for 4 years for the return of my beautiful daughter Ellie Mae. I am told by Essex now that she has been forcibly adopted. I, however, do not accept this, as they have failed to supply any legal documentation or an adoption certificate. I now believe that I am dealing with what appears to be adoption fraud. Ellie Mae was removed for possible risk of future emotional harm. There are 7 points of what the criteria of emotional harm come under. None of these were ever suggested. I have won an appeal in the Royal Court of Justice and still have not had my daughter returned, apparently due to the length of time away. I asked the authorities this: if Madeleine McCann surfaced, would you give her to her negligent parents, or would she have been away from them for too long? I think we all know the answer to that. Expert evidence is relied upon in court, and at the start of my case, after the decision by the judge that removal at birth was unlawful and unnecessary, this was also carried out by armed police, she still did not return Ellie Mae. She employed a court expert who gave evidence in court, which was very damning against me. Care and placement orders were born out of this evidence given. Care and placement orders are orders that are made where a child can now be placed for adoption. I appealed this, and the initial expert was found to have been untruthful, and he retracted his evidence, and along with 2 new experts sought by the Royal Court of Justice, he wrote new evidence in my favour. So 3 experts agreed I was not in the wrong. As I did not have my daughter returned, I have exhausted the entire UK legal system. I've applied to the European Court, who have acknowledged my rights. Articles 6 and 8 are breached. So I will get a full hearing, although this does not mean the return of Ellie Mae definitely. I may receive a just satisfaction judgment which vindicates you but changes nothing else. I have 2 other children whom were never looked at, let alone removed. The case was my partner Ellie's father was deemed a risk. This, however, had no basis or substance and was born out of the failure to him as a child by the system itself. He was given boxing lessons as a child by our social services, and this would be the first reason for the removal of our little girl. Ludicrous. I have had a petition in the Houses of Parliament regarding expert false evidence. The response was family law was not a matter being dealt with in Parliament at the moment. This also is untrue. I will fight Essex County Council for my daughter until the day she is returned. They acknowledge this and call me the hardest fighting mother they have come across. They have also had 3 super injunctions placed on me. They now know that injunctions will not stop me exposing them and fighting with every breath I have. They have hit a brick wall. The threat of imprisonment does not waver me in any way. I have told them, lock me up, because I've got 2,000 at least strong behind me to tell my story, if they do. I've really done this video to please ask members of groups against forced adoption and social services to stop destroying or trying to destroy people's characters. I have noticed lately people who are very nasty and threatening taking to posting about Tim and Julie Haynes, the main one being Chris Griffin. I am a friend of this couple and am mortified at the suggestion they are con artists and fraudsters. They are Mackenzie friends who help people who cannot get legal aid. The suggestion is they are taking large amounts of money and doing a bad job. Firstly, Mackenzie friends are entitled to payment, and if you agree, yet you still lose your case, you cannot blame the Mackenzie friends. It is your own issues that have brought the judge to their decision, which of course on many occasions are wrong. However, still not the person's who's representing you's fault. I have only ever known the Hayneses to take travel expenses, although with the knowledge and education of especially Julie Haynes, I believe it would be appropriate for a contribution at least. She is excellent in family law and is accepted in the Royal Court of Justice and the High Court by the Justices. This is not an easy feat by any means if you are not a qualified barrister. Her expertise should require a contribution. They help people, and as I said, The fact you lose your case does not mean taking to social media and accusing people, effing and blinding and making yourself look trashy is not what you should do. People like the Hayneses dedicate their lives to helping others. Have some respect or keep your mouth closed. Swearing and cursing on social media will not only go against you, it will tar all of us with the same brush. This is unacceptable. Claims that Tim Haynes left his child in the car to go into the pub are untrue, and a court of law acknowledges this. He went into a chemist to get Calpol with the vehicle visible to him at all times. You may or may not have nipped in to pay your petrol or grab a tin of beans and left your child in the car, but thousands of parents do, whether they admit this or not. I am a supporter of John Hemmings. I have met him a couple of times. He is a kind, caring family man who is exposing the family justice system in the UK like no other. John Hemming manages to get our concerns at least heard, and to go against him is not helpful to anybody. He is an extremely knowledgeable, and as I say, where many of us go unheard, he does not, and he does not, and you cannot find another MP or former MP that has stood for the rights of children and parents how he has. I think I messed up a bit there. I will say, if you come across Yolande Kenwood Lindridge Gordon, please steer clear. She says she can help you and your case. She cannot. She's a very poisonous and dangerous woman who, if the courts know you are involved with, will probably never listen to a word you say. She has been sectioned many times and has an unknown agenda all of her own. She posts and goes against Freemasons and is indeed an ex-Freemason herself. As I say, please be careful, she's dangerous. If you do have a child or children removed, present yourself as appropriate at all times. Screaming conspiracy theories, although probably true, at the judiciary, SS and government will literally get you nowhere. And parents with kids that are old enough to access social media, do you not think cursing and swearing on social sites is embarrassing for your children? Realise the only person who will win your child back ultimately is you, and behaving like teenagers and portraying yourself badly is a terrible move. So is putting court documents on sites. It's unlawful and it will definitely go against you. The system is a disgrace, but ultimately there was a reason, although usually wrong, why your child was removed. If the reason is truthful, work on that. Change yourself and prove yourself. If it was false, do the same. Do all you can. Fight as hard as you can. Be a warrior, but do it properly. The family justice system needs change. This will only happen if dealt with properly. This is the only way to be heard. John Hemmings, I would like to thank you for the start of this system turning around slowly but surely. Voices of parents and children are being taken notice of. Julie and Tim Haynes, thank you. You are such intelligent and upstanding yet down-to-earth people. Your advice and help to me has been invaluable, yet I can hand on heart say you've never asked me for one penny. I know also if the claims of Chris Griffin were true, you would not be taking her to court. So please, parents, protest but do it properly. Fight the system but do it properly. Our children and our children's children depend on this. Let's reshape family law in the UK so this abhorrent, draconian, soul-destroying system no longer exists. Thank you for listening. It's probably, I don't know if I've done this properly, but I know yesterday obviously my video went a bit crazy, but you couldn't hear me. It was a bit embarrassing really. And just thank you for listening, and please just take heed of what I say about doing things properly. We need this system to turn around, and some of us it's too late, you know, but one day when our children seek to find us, I will be able to say to my child that I've done everything that I could for her return, and that she was never given away. She was stolen. She was not abused, she was stolen, and I can prove this to her, and I can do it through all of the lawful ways that I have fought for her. Please just understand that taking to Facebook, etc., and destroying people's characters just isn't the way forward at all. Accept the help that these people have given you. They're kind people, decent people, and that's what they're there for, is to help people. If you annihilate their characters, they won't want to do this anymore, and that could leave a lot of parents without the vital help that they need. So please stop. Okay, right, thank you. Bye.